beneficial to get the type of rest that some of your guys got tonight? I mean, they were down for a while.
Sure. You know, it's I think our 7th game in a row on the road, and this was the 4th in 5 nights, so we were fortunate to be able to rest Timmy and Manu and Tony.
Any surprise on, with the amount of games you guys have been, the 4 games in 5 days, that you were sort of able to push the pace and be the ones that sort of ran them off in the beginning of the game?
Well, like I said, it was one of those nights for Washington. We all have them now and then, and they were shorthanded. So we happened to have a very good night shooting on top of it, which made it tougher for them.
What was behind the decision to change up the lineup, just to give Manu a little rest, or?
Yeah, if you start him, he's going to have more minutes, and we wanted to bring him off the bench so that if we would need him in the end, he wouldn't have so many minutes and that kind of thing.
Is that something you think you're going to keep doing, or is this the one thing?
No, it was just tonight. It was the 4th game in 5. Blah blah blah, all that stuff.
All right, so you hate that word bonding, so I'm not going to say bonding, but
well, they've sort of been together already.
I was going to say,
it's not like they're new.
They have to go to the movies together.
They're older than dirt in there.
But you guys do start to tend to tighten up with things a little bit.
Yeah, it is a good opportunity. We were able to have a good film session this morning and talk about some things in last night's game that weren't really particular to Philly, but will carry over for other games. And there's no commitments at home or anything like that for anybody, so we can really concentrate on basketball during this trip. And on top of that, people do find out things about each other that they probably didn't know before because we're with each other so much.
You go through this every year. I mean, you're pretty much used to it, but you try to use it as a positive for the guys that maybe are newcomers to this.
Sure. It's it's a way to talk about what it takes on the road and getting more comfortable with the system for the new guys, as you said. So there are a lot of things you can do, and you can't change the schedule, so it doesn't do any good to moan and groan.
Was that one as easy as it looked from where we were sitting, or not?
Well, I don't know if you were here, but sometimes a game would look easy. If you watched us play last night, you would have thought the same thing. It happens to every one of us sometime during the year, and Washington was shorthanded on top of it, so it all adds up.
You guys are playing a little faster this year than you have traditionally. What did you see with the personnel that made you want to, push that pace and get away from the grinding typical of Spurs basketball?
Well, first I think we probably played a little bit more quickly than people thought. The ball went through Timmy an awful lot, and at this point in Timmy's career, we don't go through him quite as many times. He still gets a lot of touches, but Manu and Tony are capable of pushing it, and with realizing that that's Richard's game. He's not really a half-court guy as much as he is getting up and down the court kind of guy. If you remember him back when he played with Jason Kidd, in Jersey, that type of thing. So we felt we could take advantage of that. And with George Hill and with Gary Neal coming in, our bench was going to be better and quicker. So we thought we needed to up the pace a bit. That's what we worked on since training camp. We didn't know we were going to score this many more points a game, of course. But it's just worked out that way.
Is that where your strengths are? Are there going to be times down the line where you need to slow it down and give the ball to Tim? Or
Sure. I mean, we all know come playoff time, for whatever mystical reason, things seem to slow up. And you guys ask all of us, and ladies, ask us every year, why it slows up, and we all give these answers, and we don't know what the hell we're talking about. You ask and we answer. But it happens. It happens every year. Nobody, I guarantee you, no coach goes into it and says, okay, guys, we're going to slow it down tonight. Nobody says that. But it happens. So if you can figure out, let us know.
Knowing how much you love the All-Star experience, is there anything that you're going to especially love doing next week?
I think just personally, the thing that will actually be a big thrill will be to go into the locker room with those guys. When you think about growing up and playing basketball as much as all of us did, and you're obviously not or never were in their league, but you always dreamt about it, and there they are, the best players in the world. 12 or whatever on your team, and they're sitting there in the locker room, and you get to talk to them. It's mind-boggling to me to just be around, and you watch them play together, and seeing them have fun with each other is pretty cool too, because they say it about each other. You know, wow, can you imagine if I really played with this guy or that guy? So watching that dynamic is the whole thrill for me.
How much will you talk defense with them, Coach? Because you love that so much.
I will do no coaching whatsoever. This is the proverbial roll the ball out, go sit down and enjoy. That's what this is.